Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. Feel free to show your screens or your videos so we can see your faces on screen. It's always nice to talk to people and appreciate that. So today we're going to be talking about how to systemize marketing. So of course we are streamed into Facebook Live in the Successful Bookkeeper Australia. So you're probably watching it from there if you're not on live. And please comment in over there on the Facebook and let's chat through some of the activities we can do for marketing and especially systemizing it so we can turn it off and on. So we'll have a chat about that. And yeah, welcome Debbie.
My pleasure.
Great to have you on the call. Of course, you are the marketing guru for Pure Book.
Well, I don't know about that.
That was probably a bit off role.
As far as a bookkeeper goes, I can get how the marketing works.
You've created a system. You know, this is what a lot of licensees are following, and you've got a lot of knowledge, and you've been coached in this area. So we've got a lot of a lot of content that we can chat through. So firstly, I'd like to ask the audience, what are their thoughts on marketing? What are your pain points on marketing at the moment? So come off mute. Feel free to come off mute, and I will identify those that have come off mute to chat, or if you're in a busy, noisy area, jump into the chat. Thanks, Diane.
And also, if you're watching this on Facebook land and you are having marketing, you're getting stuck on the marketing, finding it difficult to create momentum around your marketing, then pop a comment in on the Facebook post where you can see us there on Facebook, and we'll address that as well. Diane, you've unmuted.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
I suppose my biggest thing, like my whole bookkeeping business, is having the system as well, like just having some sort of system that works. I think marketing, it's knowing where your target market is as well and what products to use, whether you go LinkedIn, Facebook, website, there's so many options as well. So it's finding the right platform to find the right audience. I think that's my main thing, and having a system, obviously, like we have in our Pure Bookkeeping.
Have you got any particular, how's your marketing working for you at the moment, Diane?
It's not. It's probably, I've relied heavily on word of mouth and referrals, and just sort of, I suppose, searching through things like Find a Bookkeeper, having my presence on the softwares like Xero, being a provider, being on those sort of websites as someone in the area if people are searching through the software programs. But outside that, I don't have a plan at this point. And that's where I'm at as well with my business, is expanding that marketing to attract more clients. So, yeah.
So did you say, sorry, I was just muting one of my notifications as you were speaking. Did you say you've got a website?
I'm in the process of building a website. So at the moment, if I get asked for a website link, I put my LinkedIn profile as my website, because sometimes you can't sort of move past certain things without a website link. So if people are looking for me, I guess they can at least go to my LinkedIn profile. Are you using the PB Wix template to create your website? I've pulled pieces from it. I've got a person working on my website at the moment. I still need to write some content, which I'm going to get from the PBS template. But I found when I first looked at that, there was too much in it. I'm trying to keep it a bit more simple. So sort of grabbing, I suppose, content from those templates to then apply them to parts of my business that I want to promote.
One of the biggest tips I could give anyone when creating your website is to make sure it feels like you. It has your personality. And if you're bright, bubbly, if you love red and orange and purple and you're out there and you're vivacious and all of that, then your website should reflect that. So there are, if you look, I know when I was looking at creating my website, you check out everyone else's, you know, what's everyone else's look like, and you take a bit of that and a bit of this. And of course, we do have the Wix template for licensees that is that you can get a website up in 3 or 4 hours, but it is a standard website and it's got the same graphics and things like that. It's a good idea to edit that to make it more like you and to reflect your personality. That would be the biggest tip I would give in that regard. So you've got your website, you've got a LinkedIn profile, talking with accountants. How are you going with that?
Probably existing accountants. I'm starting to have those conversations, obviously with timing of financial year end as well.
Yeah.
I'm getting contacts from so in those conversations, I actually had an accountant ask me the other day if you have anyone who needs an accountant. And I said, well, on the reverse of that, if you have anyone who needs a bookkeeper.
Yeah.
So so I'm starting to have those conversations. I think year end is the perfect timing too, because that's when we tend to be dealing more with accountants. So that's a work in progress. The other tip I got too I think it was a small business webinar where they talked about having consistency across your platforms too. So if you're looking at the website, it looks the same as your Facebook business page. It looks the same. There was it was a toilet paper thing that they used as an example. I can't remember what it was called, but every platform, it all looked the same.
Yeah.
So you knew that when you were looking at that particular product, it didn't matter what platform it was the same message. So that was a handy tip that I got from a social media marketing sort of strategy.
Yeah. And if you think about branding, you know, you get your big organizations and Coles and whoever else, wherever, whether it's a pamphlet that they're handing out at the supermarket or their website and their trucks, the messaging on their trucks, it's always the same branding. So there's definitely does need to be consistency across that. So the photo of you is the same photo on each of your platforms and that as well.
I suppose it's like whenever we look at pure bookkeeping, we see the blue.
That's right.
So, and whenever someone looks at me, I mean, I'm diet green, but my business is green bookkeeping. So everything I do, I change to green.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Yeah, that's important to have that consistency. In terms of accountants, so that the accountants were my biggest source of referrals. But when you're starting out, for the benefit of those people who are watching or here online, if you're starting out, you might only have a couple of clients. Obviously, you've got to get clients first before unless you know an accountant. So if you don't have any clients, if you're starting out and you usually have your own accountant. So that's where I say, go to your own accountant and tell him or her that you're starting your business. They want to know that anyway. But then one of the tips that I have for every single accountant meeting that you have is to ask them if they know another accountant who is having a problem finding good bookkeepers. And they all are. There's not many, most are. There's not many accountants that have got this all sorted. And they all network with each other as well. They go to networking meetings, they do in their associations and things like that, they network together. So for every accountant meeting that you have, there are 2 questions at the end of that. And for pure bookkeeping licensees, when I talk about accountant meeting, I'm referring to the presentation that we've got in the system for accountants. I was speaking to a licensee the other day that said she's delivered that dozens of times now, and every time the accountants are blown away by the professionalism of it. If you're a little bit nervous about it, if you're not sure about it, come along to the weekly support call tomorrow on a Friday, and let's have a chat about that and how I can give you tips to feel comfortable. We won't go into the detail of that now, but you can come along to the weekly support call and I'm happy to help you work through if you're feeling uncomfortable or awkward about delivering an official PowerPoint presentation for accountants. But so however you present yourself to your new client's accountant, that was the very, as soon as I met with a new client, I'd go, great. And I actually said to them, what I'm going to do now at the end of everything, and they've signed up and all of that's done, I'd say, what I'm going to do now is give your accountant a call to make a time to meet with them. Now that can be a face-to-face. These days it can be virtual meetings, of course, and to discuss about any issues, because I've done a health check of that client's file during that the whole presentation with the prospect before they became a client. I did a health check, I found out issues, and then I say, I'm going to give your accountant a call just to introduce myself and also to discuss how they would like me to handle some of the issues that I've found in your data file today. Now, I don't always need the accountant to tell me how to deal with those issues. It's not very often that happens, but it's a reason for me to call the accountant and for him to agree to him or her to agree to a meeting as well. So when I ring that accountant, I say, hi, I'm Debbie Roberts. I've just been appointed the bookkeeper for Joe Blogs. I would love to make a time to meet with you to find out about your business. And also I discovered a few issues with this client's file that I'd like to chat with you about as well. And I'd like to tell you about my business. When would be a good time to meet? And I always finished with when would be a good time to meet very quickly at the end of the sentence. So there wasn't a pause there for the accountant to say, oh, I'd love to meet with you, but I'm a bit busy at the moment. Ring me back in 3 months' time. So usually when I said when would be a good time to meet, they would get out their calendar and we'd make a time in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So that was a very effective strategy. And also when I met with the accountant, I did exactly what I said I was going to do when I set up the meeting. I found out about the accountant, what a good referral was for them. Belinda, I might just mute you or Katrina, could you mute Belinda? Thank you. Yes, there's some background noise there. Yes, so then I did exactly what I said I was going to do, which is to ask about the accountant and what a good referral for him is, what's an ideal client for him. I'd talk briefly, very briefly, about a couple of the issues and what I plan to do with cleaning up the file. And then I would say, right, now I'm ready to have a chat with you about my business so that you can get to know me a little bit more. And then I would whip out my accountant presentation, which was a PowerPoint presentation, and I would go through the presentation, which is the goal of that is to help the accountant understand who I am, what my background is, what my qualifications and experience are, how my system is going to help them help solve all the problems they are having finding good bookkeepers, and what I'm looking for, which was a preferred bookkeeper agreement. And that's essentially what we've got in the Pure Bookkeeping system. And at the end of that, and as I said, I spoke to a licensee the other day that said, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything so professional. If you're as professional as this with just a presentation to me, you must be awesome with how you're dealing and with your clients. And at the end of that presentation, so this is getting back to circling back to what I said at the start, at the end of that presentation, when he said, thank you very much, and this is all awesome. Yes, I'll refer business to you. I asked 2 questions. The first question I asked, which is kind of an obvious one, can you think of any clients now, any of your clients now that might benefit from my services? And occasionally I got a referral straight away. It wasn't that common, but occasionally I did because I asked that question. But the second question is, do you know any other accountants who are having problems finding good bookkeepers? Because I'd love to meet with them as well and just explain have a chat with them about what I've covered with you today, and to see if we can build a working relationship with each other. And the reason that question is so valuable is because it's very hard, and I I wouldn't recommend trying to cold call accountants. So accountants that you've never met before, it's very time consuming. You usually don't get past the receptionist. They say, no, he's busy or she's busy. And we've got the bookkeeping under control. It's all good. But if you get a name of another accountant at that from the one that you knew, then you ring up this accountant and you say, because you don't know them, normally you'd ring up a cold call and you'd say, hi, I'm Debbie Roberts. I'm a bookkeeper in the area and I'd love to meet up with Jeff to tell him about my services. And the receptionist usually says, oh no, Jeff is too busy at the moment, and hangs up the phone. That's a cold call. When you mention to Jeff, or you call the accounting firm and you say, hi, I'm Debbie Roberts. I was just speaking with James Smith, who they know, so they know James Smith, who's this accountant, and he recommended that I get in touch with Jeff to make a time to meet with him to tell him about my bookkeeping services. So I'm just ringing to make a time. Whenever I dropped the previous accountant's name, it's like you're in the know now. It's not a cold call anymore. So then when you get through to Jeff, you say, hi, Jeff, I was just speaking to James. He's doing really well, thank you, and he's hoping you're doing well. And I just thought I'd ring because he said you're having problems finding good bookkeepers. Oh, I'd love to make a time to meet with you. I want to find out about your services and see if I can refer business to you. And I'd also like to make a time to meet with you to tell you about my services. When would be a good time to meet? And then we make the appointment. I do the presentation. And at the end of the presentation, I ask 2 questions. And then I just repeat that process. So one of my goals, or in my KPI report, so one of my goals every month was to meet with at least 4 accountants every month, so 1 a week. And sometimes it was accountants that I knew, and sometimes it was accountants who were referred by another accountant. But it was a goal of mine to meet, to make sure. And I was always looking a month ahead. I was always making appointments a month ahead. So I had this week already sorted, and the next week and the week after. So I'm booking the 4th week of the month. And that's how you create momentum around your marketing, by setting up the appointments in advance. So it's not like they ring and you ring one accountant this month and then a couple of accountants next month. You're constantly finding ways that you can meet with new accountants, and that will come from your networking meetings. It will come from new clients. It will come from your existing clients, and it will come from the meetings that you have with the accountants and doing the presentation.
So systemizing this marketing process that you're setting up is putting time aside in your calendar to be working on this, and having a KPI document around how many networking meetings you will attend each month, how many accountants, as you said, Deb, that you're going to see, and whatever your marketing activities are from that, or on top of that, you systemize them and you put them into, the KPIs so you can measure them. And then, I know Deb said in previous times that you just turn it off and on as you require more clients. So then you might down it to 1 networking meeting a month or 1 a quarter, rather than, 2 a month. So, depending on your circumstances, you might plan on going away for 3 months, or you might be full up, or it might be July hit. Then you just, turn down the marketing. But if you've systemized it beforehand and you've got this presentation documented, you've got some ideas of scripting or what you're going to say, like Deb's, said, blatantly what she says to each accountant, then if that's ready to go, then you just turn that on, or you just, turn up the dial, as Deb referred before, and then you just, go off and run with the exact same system. And then you can move your way through. You've got your accountants sorted, your networking is sorted, your referrals from your clients sorted, because you've got, a script in how to ask for referrals from clients and emails that you might do that from, and when you're going to do it. And then you might get into your social media or your LinkedIn. So create a system around how you might do a LinkedIn campaign, or how you might do messaging, or, you know, whatever you do. And then the same with Facebook. Again, create a system with your Facebook. What is your content that you're going to be delivering? You know, are you going to hand out an ebook every now and then? So again, put it in your KPIs, put it in a project for you to create, like in your workflow management software, create a project, which is a marketing project. And, you know, if accountants is your priority, let's get some clients from accountants. That's your first thing that you're going to do, is your presentation for your accountants. How many are you going to call each month? Where are you going to get their names from? And then just work your way through. Then it's, you know, LinkedIn might be your next strategy. So, you know, in pure bookkeeping, we do have 7 strategies, of which we, you know, identify you can get 5 clients quite quickly from each one of the strategies. So setting up each one of those strategies and turning it on and off, you know, if you are busy in July, but you might still put your LinkedIn campaign going. So there's something might be automated that you can just, you know, keep the, as Deb says, the momentum is really important to make sure that leads come in when you are not busy.
Yeah. Yeah. And creating momentum, I've got something that I've used quite a lot in terms of analogy is, have you seen those muscle men, you know, that those really huge guys that pull trucks and all these sorts of things, and they lift things up, all this. Anyway, if you just picture one of these guys, like I've seen them, I don't watch it all the time, but I've seen these guys, they're almost horizontal when they're pulling this great big tip truck there. The pressure that it takes, they've just got their toenails digging into the ground, and they're almost horizontal, and they're going really, they haven't got any momentum. It takes enormous energy for them to get those wheels, and they show them going like this. The wheels are going round like that. And then there is this tipping point where because of physics and everything else, where the truck starts to move because of the pulling. And you can see them, they actually require less energy. So they're now going, and they can actually run a little bit as well. So they're kind of jogging a little bit, pulling that along, and it's the truck that's actually creating, it's going by itself essentially. They are just keeping the truck going. If they stopped, the truck would stop. But because they are keeping going, it takes less energy. They can maintain that. They couldn't maintain this level of pressure on their bodies for a very long time. So as they pull the truck and it creates a momentum, they are just jogging along. And that really resonated with me, because that's how I felt about marketing. I felt like it was really hard, and I didn't want to do it, and I wasn't good at it, and I didn't know what to say, and I lacked confidence, and I was nervous in front of accountants. So who wants to put themselves in a situation that you feel completely out of your depth? Talk to me about bookkeeping any day of the week, but to actually go out and market myself, just, I didn't want to do it. And that's where Katrina referred before. I had a KPI report. So when I was being coached by Peter Cook, the reason, and there were a lot of things on that KPI report that had nothing to do with numbers. They were actually, or dollars and cents and profit and all of that. That was part of it. But one of the things was marketing, because Pete knew that I hated marketing. And so he realized that he needed to help me create systems around marketing so that I would just do it and then become good at it. And he also knew he needed to make me accountable around actually taking the steps and doing the marketing. So we had meetings with accountants, networking meetings, asking clients for referrals, door knocking, and also tracking where I was getting my referrals from. And then he'd say, right, Deb, how many meetings with accountants are you going to do this month? And I'd look at my schedule and I'd go, okay, I'm going to do 3 or 4, whatever the number was this month. Sometimes when it was BAS on, so when it's the BAS deadlines, I'd go, I can only do 2. So, but so long as I was, sometimes, even if it's 1, you feel like you are maintaining the momentum. Even if you're doing 1 thing, there is still, it starts to go into your fiber of everything, and you go, that's all right, I can only do 1, but I've done it really well, and I've got the name of another accountant that I can meet, and I'm going to ring with him to set that up. But it really, it's hard to get started. It is, and I acknowledge that, and we bookkeepers don't like marketing. I've met a handful. In the thousands of bookkeepers I've met a handful that actually love marketing. And they're that kind of personality. But the typical bookkeeper, we're introverts mostly, and all we want to do is, number 1 marketing strategy is do a good job, and hopefully the referrals will come. And when you are a good bookkeeper, that actually does work. It does work, but it won't create the momentum so that the referrals and the clients keep coming in. And for growth, if you've got staff, it won't create enough referrals for you to be able to feed your staff either.
Exactly. All right. So is there somebody else that would like to come off mute and have a chat about what their roadblocks are or their pain points around marketing that we could possibly talk to as well?
I just saw Krista's comment. Is that someone that you know that apparently has pulled planes and a steam ranger or something?
Did you want to come off mute, Krista, and have a chat about the marketing that you're doing as well as a talk to Jordan, who pulls an aeroplane?
I'm not sure if you can hear me or not. Sorry.
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. My camera, that's not working, but I'm happy to talk. So just a side note, I do know Jordan. He is classed as Biggie, the strongman. He's here in Adelaide, and it's just what you were saying is an awesome analogy, and I would sort of sit and wonder, how is he doing that? Like, yes. How is that even possible? But yeah, great analogy. And I have been watching from the sidelines with this group. I have shown up a few times and sent a few questions and stuff, but I'm literally still yet to start my actual business. So I'm sorry if that sort of disappoints. With lots of stuff that's been happening. Obviously, everybody is in the same, similar boat. We're now in lockdown here in Adelaide, and but long story short, I'm a single mum. I work from home, doing a small business as bookkeeping, which I do on a Tuesday, Thursday. So I'm supposed to be doing that right now, except I'm on this Zoom. And I have worked as a bookkeeper in accounts and finance and everything for, quite a few years, on and off the past 10 years, and have always just really wanted to start my own thing, I started studying my diploma of accounting, but then soon realised that it was much better for me to start my Bachelor of Accounting. So with COVID and everything that's been happening, I've applied, but it probably won't start until September now. So I've sort of been put on hold, and that's where I'm at. I'm not afraid to do the marketing, I suppose, but I have to be 100% sure of what I'm talking about. I can talk, but I need to be sure of how do I explain it? If I'm not 100% sure of something, I kind of tend to step back a little bit. Like I'm all in but I feel like I need to have all the information before I can go out. And I suppose that's what stopped me from starting, you know, and getting out and sort of, I've had a couple of people say, hey, you know, maybe one day you can do my books, you know, and I kind of laugh and say, well, yep, let me know, give me a call. I haven't pushed it to that next level yet, because I'm just a bit, I am a little bit afraid, I suppose, as silly as that sounds. There's obviously a lot more that I need to, you know, I need to be able to be, I'm not a BAS agent. I need to, you know, go through all of that. And obviously my study comes first. So that's kind of my next goal, is to continue doing what I'm doing, and just learning and listening and soaking up all the information. It's going to take 3 years to get my degree, and I've started late because I'm no spring chicken, but it's what I want to do. So and I'm good at it. I enjoy the work. You know, my friends think I'm silly. What do you want to do that for? It's because I like it, and I know I'm good at it, like I said, and I just want to learn more, and it's something we can do from home. And yeah, so that's where I'm at.
That's awesome.
Thank you for including me.
Yeah, that's fine. If I can give you a little a bit of advice, I guess,
Yes.
And this goes for everyone really that's starting out. It's not just about you, Krista. It's really a very common thing for when you're, and I felt it, like when, I don't know if you know my story, but when I was starting my business, I was an employee part-time, and I'd been bookkeeping for years and years before that, but always as an employee. And GST was coming in, and a friend of mine who owns a business said, Deb, you really need to start your own business, and that's where you'll earn the money and be in control. And I was going, oh, I don't know about that. I don't know if I know. I don't know if I'm any good. And so completely lack confidence. And so what I did, the way I did it was I kept my day job. So I thought, just in case this really turns out bad, I'm going to keep my day job. And so I kept that. And I had the same thing as you, where I had a few friends who, remember when GST was coming in, it was a complete unknown and businesses were floundering. And I had friends that were begging me to take over their husband's bookkeeping because it was a nightmare. And I went, I don't know. I don't think I know. I've always worked for someone. All right, I'll give it a go, but I'm doing it from home. I'm not coming. I can't come to your office or anything. Whatever you want to do, just can you please help us? And that was the beginning of my journey. And what I found was I had a goal that I thought, if I'm any good, I'd like to be able to replace my part-time income within 12 months. And I did that literally by word of mouth referrals. So each of the people, that person that said, Deb, you need to start your business, I finally went to him and I said, I finally started my business. He said, great, there's another referral. And he gave me a business card. He was just waiting for me to start. So if I can encourage you, if your friends are saying, can you do your bookkeeping for them, do it. You won't ever have all the information, ever. No one, it changes all the time. Everything is changing. The technology is changing. The laws are changing. You will never have all the information, no matter how much study you go through, no matter how prepared you are. You will learn more actually by doing. So, but you can do that.
I'm definitely feel like I learn. I'm a visual learner. I feel like I had a little bit of a break over COVID, and then my father got sick, and all of the things, and I just I've started sort of probably the last 3 months I've been doing these books, and I just jumped in. I thought, you know what, just do it, just jump in. And I'm just fiddling with the settings here. I think, oops.
There you go.
Oh gosh, I hate looking at. Anyway, so I just jumped in. But what was scary is I've always used MyOb, and this program that I'm now using is called NetSuite. I don't know if anyone's heard of that, but it's an American, I think they call it an ERP. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Inventory, and like there's so many. Yeah, it just looked terrible. And anyway, long story short, it's not as hard as what I thought. And I'm kind of picking it up quite well. I kind of had a little bit of a takeover with the other bookkeeper. She was in Melbourne, I'm in Adelaide. And yeah, I feel like I think you're right. I think it's just where people kind of just need to just do it, because instead of me saying, oh yeah, this is what I do, and I'm looking at starting my business and blah blah blah, then people I think people need to feel secure and need to feel need to believe in your confidence. So if I'm not being confident about it, then how can they be confident with me? So I think you're right. I guess I'm just, like I said, I am a bit of a all or nothing person. So I feel like because I can't do the BAS, I can't do, I don't even have a diploma, but I know what I'm doing. Yeah.
That there are, because we've got lots of licensees that are not yet BAS agents. So, and regardless of whether you're a licensee or not, you can do bookkeeping if you are working under supervision. And
yes.
I would recommend the Australian Bookkeepers Network. They've got 18 BAS, and they've got all the systems set up for you to be supervised and work legally. So that's very important, regardless of what decisions. If you're doing bookkeeping at the moment, then join ABN BAS and work under supervision.
That's called, sorry, what did you say?
Australian Bookkeepers Network.
Okay.
You can lodge the BASs under them, so they will supervise your work. And
because I know that you can do that under through an accountant, but obviously I have to pay them a fee, don't I, to do that?
You still have to pay AB. There is still a fee because it's a service that they provide, but they will give you a document at the end that you've completed this many hours and this many BASs and doing this sort of work and what have you. So and you
pass the fee on to the client anyway. Like you would normally, if you were a BAS agent, you would be charging a fee to do it. So you just pass on the fee.
I do have a where I worked a couple of years ago. I was with them for 4 years or whatever, and I was basically the business manager. I did everything from HR to bank recs to return to work, all of it. And I become quite good friends with the accountant there. And he did actually say to me a few weeks ago, we chatted on, I don't know, social media somehow, and he sort of said, how are you going? And I said, yeah, good. And he said, look, if you ever need any questions answered, feel free to shoot me an email. And I thought, well, that's great, because he's an accountant. He has his own firm, very successful here in Adelaide, and he's just offered to help me. So I need to probably do that and get on with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. That's what I did. It's just like the frustration of not being able to make a decision, and I just did it. So I just resigned from a 3-day job and just took that leap of faith and reverted that 3-day client down to less than a month. Which was because, and then put your fee up because you're doing business advisory work. You're not just doing the bookkeeping. So that was, jumping into it. But to bring this, the conversation back to marketing, that's perfectly okay. Because what you can still do marketing now, even though you're not confident about what you're talking about bookkeeping or, the work that you're doing, but you're still creating relationships or building relationships. So you're meeting other small business owners and you're meeting other accountants and other places where referrals could come, like you might be out meeting coaches or finance advisors. So you're building a relationship, so they're getting to know you and trust you, so that when you are ready to turn it on, that you've already got those relationships there. So,
Yep.
and you will learn so much more from having conversations with other people. You will build your own confidence about talking with other people, and when to bring in what you do, or who you are. So there's a lot of learning and confidence that you can attract or gain, even though you haven't set up a business as such.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, if people are saying, oh yeah, I'm your friend, I've got a business, I want you to do my bookkeeping, then grab the experience. Because you'll get 3 years down your track and done Bachelor of Business, and you realize, I'm assuming you realize, you don't need Bachelor of Business or Bachelor of Accounting to get your BAS agent. You only need Cert 4 to get your BAS agent, which is like
I do know that. Yeah, I kind of just feel like I wanted that. I've done half a Bachelor of Criminology, didn't get that finished. I did half a Bachelor of Teaching a long time ago, and then my son came along, who's nearly 18. So I kind of feel like I just, I want to do something. Yeah.
And it will be all very helpful to your business, but you don't need to wait 3 years to start your business either. You can do your training, your teaching, part-time, usually only 10 contact hours or something.
Yeah, and the other great thing about getting some clients while you're doing the study is that you're putting into practice what you're learning in theory.
Yeah.
When I was recruiting, whenever I recruited on my team, I asked for the minimum, which was the Certificate 4 in finance, but I valued more the experience that they had. So I looked for someone with 2 years experience. Now, if you came to me looking for a job, for example, and I was going to employ you or put you on as a contractor, and let's say you've done a Bachelor of Business, I'd say, that's awesome. How much experience have you got? If you could say, well, for the past 3 years, I've been doing my study, as well as I've got, I work 10 hours a week or 15 hours a week or something like that with these X number of clients, I would value that more because you have the hands-on experience of dealing with small business owners.
Yeah, and again, I've owned my own business. I used to have a hair, beauty, massage studio years ago, a long time ago. I've managed retail businesses as well. So I've done a lot in lots of different industries. And like I said, don't have a problem. And it sounds silly. Like, I feel like once I was set up, I would not have a problem going and marketing myself, because I think, well, I won't be ready until, like, I wouldn't be set up until I was ready. If that sounds so silly, but I think I just need to just do it, like you say. And
that would be my advice, to just do it, and then you'll learn stuff from that. And especially if you're getting, and this advice goes for everyone, so this is not just about Krista, this is anyone starting out. If you're nervous and things like that, just do it. If you've got friends and family that are saying, please, would you do my bookkeeping, then say, yeah, I will. They're going
I've probably found other people by now, because this was a little while ago. It hasn't been recently, but I'm currently doing, I'm only doing about 10 hours a week. So I definitely need more, and I definitely want more.
So I think the action for you, Krista, sorry, cutting across you, I'm conscious of time as well, is contact the Australian Bookkeepers Network. Find out about what that's all about, the ABN BAS, and how you can be working under direction and things like that. They've got an awesome community as well, and lots of support and information that you'll find very useful as far as gaining practical experience and advice. So I hope that was helpful.
Thank you. Thanks. I appreciate it.
For bringing that up. I wanted to ask Belinda, I asked you to mute before, but I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself. I'm going to put you in the hot seat. I don't know if you've got anything to say, but I just felt a little bit bad that I asked you to mute yourself. So do you want to unmute yourself and just tell us a little bit about some of your marketing strategies, if you're still there?
I am here. Can you hear me now?
Yes, can.
Sorry about that. I didn't realise it was the speaker was still on.
No,
where am I at now? Still small, still working away on the clients that I have. Me getting myself out there, I'm still not in that comfort zone yet. Just trying, I think I'm just trying to do too much at the one go at the moment. So I'm a bit all over the place. I'm trying to do ClickUp. I'm trying to get the clients' work done. Yeah, I still feel like I'm just all over the place at the moment. So, yeah.
So with your marketing, where are you at with the marketing? Have you got any sticking points or roadblocks with the marketing that we might be able to help you with?
To be honest, I haven't done anything. Jocelyn keeps saying about my website. I still haven't done that. It's a matter of me trying to look around for someone that I'm comfortable with, and then getting something out there.
Are you needing new clients at the moment, or are you just sitting with your operations and your systems and getting that stuff sorted?
I do need more clients, yes, but I'm not putting myself out there. My clients seem to come from one accountant in particular at the moment, but they're only small. So
did you find what I said before, was that helpful?
Yes, yeah, I've taken on board some of the things, and it's just a matter of me planning myself well as well to get things done. So
why don't you come along to the weekly support call tomorrow?
Yeah, well, that's what I've been trying to do, is adding on my diary on all the webinars and everything, so I try and keep up with everything.
Yeah.
So
because we can chat about that, like the weekly support call in the Pure Bookkeeping community is open to everyone and any discussion about anything. So we might be able to dive into your situation a little bit more. Unless we've got time, Katrina, now.
We've got another 10 minutes. But depends if Belinda's comfortable talking about her own instance, or she might prefer it in the PB community. Up to you.
Maybe tomorrow, because I've got no idea on what you want. So
it's really what you want. What we'll be talking about is, okay, well, and this is actually something you can be thinking about and come prepared with, if you like. What are your goals? Where do you want to be? This is for everyone, by the way, because one of the reasons why I took myself out of my comfort zone all the time was because I had a big enough vision. It was important to me to, I couldn't, like, I had to put on my big girl pants, if you like. And just say, it actually doesn't matter, Deb, how you feel about marketing. You want to grow a business to replace your husband's income in 10 years. So how are you going to do that if you sit inside your office in your little bubble? So it really does come down to where do you want to be? If we keep, because you can always earn enough income to have a job, to buy yourself a job, and that's perfectly fine. You know, to earn enough income, like I did initially, to replace the part-time job that I had. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if you've got a goal to grow to a particular level within a certain deadline, or you've got a goal of a date in 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, as I had, then you look at your options. Okay, how am I going to get there? Right, I need to do marketing. That marketing word again. It just keeps coming up. But the reality, look, I can tell you that I will probably never love marketing, but I learnt how to do it well. And that only came with practice. It's like we were saying with Krista, it's just do it. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have an accountant presentation. I didn't know what I was going to say to that accountant. I had many instances where it was an ineffective presentation. I was just like a deer in the headlights, just staring at the accountant and not really, hi, I'm Debbie, and the script that I used before, the reason I can say that seamlessly is because I've done it so many times. It's not because, as Katrina called me a marketing guru, I am most definitely not a marketing guru, but I just practiced it. I just decided that this was important enough. So I'm going to go out and do it, and I'm going to step out of my comfort zone, because how else am I going to get clients that's going to enable me to replace my husband's income in 10 years? Come on, girl, just get on with it. I would just be telling myself. And that's what drove me outside of the house and into networking meetings and meeting with accountants, and then coming back. Belinda, you've got the community to tap into. Even this little community that we've got here is awesome. For anyone that's not part of Pure Bookkeeping, come along to these sessions every week. Tell us what your issues are. Like, we can actually create solutions or suggest ideas about how you might be able to overcome the issues. Don't just sit there in the background listening. If you've got something that's holding you back, then be brave, step out of your comfort zone, show your screen. You're very much part of a supportive community here at the Successful Bookkeeper Australia, and tell us what the issue is. That's how we can be specific and help you grow.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things that I found for networking, because I hated going out and meeting people, I hated the idea of networking, going into a strange room with strange people and a strange event, and, where to go, where to park, usually going at night, all of those things that stopped me. It was finding another business owner that was wanting also to network, and I had somebody that I had connected with. She was wanting to build websites, and she was just starting her business, and she wanted to network too. So the two of us kept us accountable that we would go out together to networking events. So at least we're arriving with somebody, we've got somebody to talk to, somebody to support us. We could even stand together in a group because we weren't clashing, our businesses weren't clashing. So, she was just having conversations, I was having conversations. So it was just knowing somebody in the room, which was just comforting for me, way back when I first started. So, for you, Belinda, if you're wanting to start with networking, or you've got some networking events that you can go to but a bit shy, then, grab a colleague or a friend that's in business or not, and just, have somebody there to keep you your company and talk about it on the way home and have a giggle, and just makes it a bit more fun. And then you're committed, I'm going every month, so I've got to, keep my commitment to my friend as well.
That's a great idea. I wish I had thought of that.
You find ways, don't you?
I just had to guts it out. I just always went on my own, and that's a great idea. Bring a friend, and the double whammy with that is that you're accountable to each other. So you might, if you're trying to do it on your own, you go, oh, I can't, it's raining. I won't do it this week. I can't be bothered. It's been busy, and so. But if your friend is there, beeping the horn, ready to pick you up to go, you go, all right, I'm going to do this. That's a great.
It's like going to the gym or doing exercise. It's having that person. And then she and I built a really good relationship that we had some referrals, and we just met at some network event. It was probably like a Kingston Council or something, a regular local council event that would have went to at lunchtime. And then she actually, her and I talked about going out into an office, getting out of our home office. We needed something more than a home office, so we moved into an office space together. So, it's encouraging each other, like, it's just that support that some personalities need. And, it's nice to have that backup, really, that somebody to talk to. And
it can be very, well, it is quite isolating when you start your own business and you're working from home. And if you're used to working as part of a team in an office, you know, as an employee kind of thing, and then you start your own business and you're working from home and all you see are the four walls and you don't speak to anyone else other than a couple of clients and your cat or dog during the day, it can be very isolating. So to have a business pal, you know, that's a great thing to be doing.
Yeah. Awesome. Diane.
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to add to that what you were talking about, Katrina. There's also a lot of, I suppose, in this modern world, I think if, like when what Deb was saying, didn't have these Zoom meetings and all this social media when I first started, it was pretty much, you know, footpaths, you know, feet on the footpath sort of thing. I think there's a lot of, I've discovered there's a lot of small business Facebook groups that have a lot of variety in people in those groups that are obviously supporting. I think one that I'm in is like, I'm a small business owner, those sort of things. I think like I love my bookkeeping networks, but I think to sort of expand your business, it's like what Katrina was saying, is having things outside of what we do as well. Because I think when we, like I can vent, I can talk about all my bookkeeping issues, but it's also about other small business owners, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So those sort of network groups within communities, if you don't want to be, you know, obviously with COVID, we can't go out at the moment, but we haven't got the opportunity to do face-to-face sort of stuff. There is a lot of social media network groups available as well.
Yeah, and it's great to start, like when you are mingling with other people that are networking, and they might not be your ideal client, but you are learning things. You are learning things about social media or websites or SEOs or you know, finance or, you know, anything that you know, any other industries that small businesses are in. You're learning about their industry and about tips or technology, or, you know, you might have an IT person. So, well, I didn't even realize I could do that. It's just broadening your knowledge and your professional development without being just bookkeeping knowledge, you know, softwares. It's like really, and that's where the excitement comes in. For me, it does. It's like learning other industries, learning more about other things that can also help my business. So it's not just, you know, my bookkeeping skills, it's what else can help my business. So it's, you know, it just broadens that professional development away from just, you know, our own, you know, little insular world. So yeah, great point.
I think it also makes our bookkeeping more interesting, like working with different industries and learning about the industries. It's more, I mean, for me, the bookkeeping is generally the same. Our processes are the same. It's the variety in businesses and opportunities to learn about other industries that makes what I do interesting and fulfilling. Because if I just did the same bookkeeping for the same person day in, day out, I'd get very bored very quickly, I think.
Yeah, and finding those opportunities of systems or deficiencies, or, you know, like in the construction industry, and you're finding people are writing things on paper and paper is going here to here, and it's like, well, we have an app that can help you with that. But, you know, just, you know, understanding pain points of other industries and other businesses and finding solutions. And then, you know, that's where your knowledge and your trust comes in, because you can talk to other people's pain points. It's not just going out and selling your bookkeeping business, your business services. It's being able to provide solutions, because we are knowledgeable. And that's why it's important to start networking sooner than later. Again, so it's a great opportunity for Krista, hasn't even started a business. Get out there and learn what's out there and what applications that, you know, people are wanting. You know, where are their pain points? Where are the things that are missing in others' businesses for us to solve? Then you're talking from a point of experience and knowledge, which is, that's what it's all about.
We're just about at the top of the hour, but I think hopefully there's a few of you on the call that's got some actions from today's call, because it's not just a business discussion about how to grow, or, you know, how to win friends and influence people or anything like that. What we've been talking about is to help you take action to get some marketing done. Now, Diane, I know you've got your website to finish off. Perhaps it's meeting with accountants. I'd like, just in that last little bit, if anyone's got any actions they're going to take in the next week or month or whatever, pop it in the chat box as a kind of an accountability thing, saying this is what I'm going to do. These are the marketing strategies that I'm going to implement. Krista is going. Thank you, Krista. I know what you've got on your plate. You're going to contact the ABN. And so is anyone else, just pop your, what are you going to do related to marketing? And be brave. Finalize your content to finish your website. That's Diane. Everyone can see that. Jack, what about you? And Joe, Alison. Here we go. Jack is doing hire a web designer to revamp our website and SEO. Alison, I'm going to finish my new website and meet more accountants. Anyone else who? Joe, you haven't posted a comment. Come on, Joe, get some
Writing a story.
Pardon?
She's writing a story.
Okay.
And
we won't wrap up until you finish.
Michelle and Melissa too. And those that are watching live, there's several people watching live. Pop it into the comments into the Facebook group, and those watching on replay, share your stories, share what you are going to do to keep yourself accountable. Once we write it down, once we speak what we're going to do, it makes us feel more connected to the activity and how we're going to do it. So that's awesome.
Terrific.
Good. All right. Well, thank you everyone for attending today. I think we've had a great session. And when you said something about how to influence people, how to win, what is it? How to win friends and influence friends.
Yes.
That's our
nice segue.
A nice segue into our book club of next Wednesday at 12 o'clock. Inside of the Successful Bookkeeper Australia. So join us on that one as well, where Amar will be hosting that book. If you haven't read it, doesn't matter. We talk about the principles of the book, so it's a great place to learn the principles. And we talk about the experience that we've had in applying those principles as well. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thanks for those watching on Facebook land. And we will talk to you. I'll see you around the community.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.